Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at Anakin, Padme, and of course Obi-Wan. Now, in the past, somebody had asked, "Hey, it'd be kind of nice if I could actually get Anakin and Padme." Seeing that we have already done Luke, Leia, and I believe it was Han in one of the previous ones. I don't know how long ago that was, and we finally gotten all three of these. So we can finally do Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So going on with them, kind of looking at what we've got here, we will start off with Anakin, seeing that he is kind of just off to the side, picking one side, and he's just the lucky side here. Now this is from the Revenge of the Sith. Now at the time I'm recording this, I had picked this one up over at GameStop. They did have, I believe, from Ahsoka, from the Ahsoka series, they had Anakin Skywalker from that series as well. I liked the look from the Revenge of the Sith a little bit better, so this is the one that I had gotten. Of course, and I'm always going to mess up his name. I don't know why I always do it. I want to say it's Hayden Christensen. I think the mold looks a little bit better for him being a little bit younger than what he was physically for doing the Ahsoka. Still in great shape, still looks pretty good. It's just one of those things of, when you're used to seeing him a little bit younger than where he is today, I just kind of wanted to keep it a little bit more towards that same look. And of course, then we have Padme and from Revenge of the Sith, so the same series line for Obi-Wan in comparison to Anakin. And Padme, this is definitely her from Revenge of the Sith. Oh, no. Actually, no. Looking at her, I don't think that's going to be Revenge of the Sith. I think that's going to be Attack of the Clones before she gets her outfit kind of ripped up here. So, looking at what we all have in here, really it's just Anakin and his lightsaber, which does make a lot of sense. He's not going to have a blaster or anything else. Just trying to figure out exactly how I'm getting this all out of here. I do have some tape here. There we are. All right. And we have him with the blue lightsaber. The nice thing is if you wanted to, you can take that out and you can have his lightsaber on his belt, which is always nice and wonderful. But I usually leave the saber lit and all that together in that regard. So let's see, getting them out of here. All the crinkles. Okay, so trying to do this, I got a little marker here. Hopefully you guys don't see the marker, but trying to keep it so that way you guys can see what's all here, and I'm keeping everything in view. Just kind of going through like how we normally do. We have our feet here, the boots there. Does kind of go down pretty good for all that, and an up is not quite as far, but I think we get a fairly good range of motion here, all said. And of course, because we have the boot here, that's an extra joint, so we have a twist there, as well as having the twist a little bit farther up here, just underneath. This is twisting right in here, and it looks like we only have a single knee joint, so as far as that goes. And then let's see, moving here, we don't have a joint on the top here, so it's all in the knee. So as we look at that, that's all in the knee. So a little different. We can torso twist a little bit here. Like I said, we do have the single knee. He's got his belt here. Everything looks good. This is it is a lighter rubber plastic, as well as that. Works pretty good. It's not a cloth, so unfortunately if you're looking for the cloth there, it's just not cloth. And then we get up to the shoulders. Looking here, it is a double shoulder, but with his robes being what they are, I don't know how well that's going to really work out overall. And actually looking at this is kind of interesting, because this piece essentially just flips right on over here. And if it wasn't for the belt, this was all just flop off. And we could see that here. It'll just kind of flop off there, which does give us a nice look at the double shoulder here. I think I said elbow before, so I misspoke. Double shoulder. It covers that up pretty good. It is pretty decent in that regard. Looking at our elbow here, it is a single elbow, but it does give a fairly good range of motion. It's kind of notched out a little bit here, so that works out pretty well. And then we have our standard wrist and hand movement. And of course, this is his artificial hand because it got lopped off by Count Dooku. And there we are. But yeah, it works out really well. Nice looking figure in my view. Hopefully you guys get a good look at the face. He does have that side scar on there. And he's got the longer hair, which was very predominant when they had done these. He had the longer hair. He doesn't have the tassel kind of coming down here anymore, but he does have the longer hair. He lost the tassel there from Attack of the Clones. Nice looking figure in my viewpoint. Trying to get the lightsaber on here. There we are. That fits in there pretty good. Okay, so we'll get him off to the side. We'll get Padme and get her out of here fairly quick. Now, I don't remember exactly where I had picked up Padme. I don't remember if it was an Amazon purchase, a Target purchase, or what have you. Obi-Wan, I think I got him from a Target. So keep that in mind. For me, I have a little bit better luck from Target than I do from a Walmart in my neck of the woods. Now, everyone's going to be a little on the different side. You might have better luck at, say, your local Walmart than Target, and price point might be a little bit cheaper at Walmart because quite often they're using the fact that you're buying in volume, or, you know, you're not looking at it per item. They're looking at it overall. So in that regard, it is a little bit on the nicer side for us as consumers to say, hey, I can go to Walmart and I can get a little bit cheaper maybe, or possibly quite often if I can, I will get it from Amazon if I can find it cheaper, or if it's the only way I can get it. Okay. Now she's got more delicate arms here, so I have to kind of watch out. I'll try and grab from the legs. We have some goofy packaging here. There we are, all the crinkles. Okay, because she's got the kind of cloak here, I don't know if the cloak comes up and off. Looks like you could probably take that off. Just trying to figure out exactly, you'd have to try and get it over the head here. I'm just going to have to leave it, I guess. Alright, so going through our same little predicament here, or kind of waist belt here, being what it is. Alright, start off with the leg. So looking at our shoes, there was a little bit of a snap, so obviously, oh boy, I hope I didn't break anything. That always worries me when I hear a snap. Okay, this one's on there pretty nice and tight. This one, on the other hand, when I pull that down, I see this coming out, so hopefully I didn't break it. I worry I might have, but hopefully I didn't. And then we should have with the boot, but that doesn't want to move there, so obviously that's all molded in. Usually it's not molded in that way, so they did a little extra work on Padme here. She does have that double knee, if I can get it to work. So she can stretch that knee out a little bit. Looks a little bit awkward. And of course then we have the twist on the upper thigh. So that works out pretty good. Now she's got a skin tight outfit on. And we have a belt here with some equipment. We have for her blaster. And she has that Nubian kind of holdout blaster, whatever you want to call this. Looking at it, it's that very Nubian shape where it's very artistically done, and it fits in there pretty well. And then of course she's got like an extra ammo pouch or whatever else she has on that side. Alright, and then trying to look at her arms here, she's only got a single shoulder joint. We do have a No, we don't have movement there. I thought with that crease I would have movement. It's all in the elbow here. So when we move the arm and that, it's all with the elbow. So we're going to have to want to be a little bit more careful with her figure, seeing that the joints are a little bit more, not quite as robust. Let's just put it in that regard. I always worry about that a little bit. I don't want to break it. And when we're spending $24, $25 on a figure, you really don't want to break it. And you know, you guys have seen my videos. I have a hard enough time trying not to keep things from breaking at times. All right, and of course we have some pretty good head move. I think the head sculpt looks pretty good here. I think they did all right. Maybe could have done a little bit better. I don't know. I think it's okay. Get this a little bit closer. Hopefully you guys can see this without it being fuzzy. I think it's done okay-ish. We get the point across. I'll just put it that way, that regard. All right, and we do have a different hand here. So I think we might need that hand for the Battle Droid blaster rifle compared to for her own pistol. I think the Kung Fu grip hand that she's got currently is fine for her pistol, but if we're using the rifle, I think we're going to need this hand because that opens up a little bit farther, and I think that's what we're really going to need here in comparison. So for now, we'll just kind of leave her be. Trying to get it so her head doesn't look like it's going forward here. The only thing that's kind of bothering me with her. Otherwise, she looks like she's pretty good. Let's see if we can get her to stand up here decent for us, where you guys can see everything, hopefully. And then last but not least, let's get Obi-Wan here. Nope. All right. And then we have old Obi-Wan. Again, with the same kind of lightsaber here. Oh, geez. I always have problems. All right. Now, one of the nice things to really kind of point out here is, as we look at Obi-Wan here, they had Ewan McGregor looking a lot closer to what we see Alec Guinness in. So when we look at the boots and all that, they are stylized a little bit closer to what we saw Alec Guinness in episode 4, which was, you know, the original Star Wars, with the higher boots and all that. And I believe they remade all this stuff and that for when they did the Obi-Wan little series, when he was trying to kind of save Leia, which, you know, you like it, you don't like it, it is what it is. Now the boot doesn't look like we have as much movement down here as what we've had, so that's kind of not the best, but you know, they left that ankle in there so we can get them to have the wider stance or a narrower stance, and it'll stand up pretty decent. And it does seem like it will twist here with the boot because that's a whole different mold, snaps in there. And then looking at the knee, now the knee is only a single knee joint, and I think that's about as far as we're going to go. So we could get them to sit in a chair and go from there. And then looking up here, same thing with Anakin. We don't have that extra joint in the thigh, so all that extra movement here is right there in that knee. So just kind of keeping all that in perspective. Now when we look at the shoulder, now his tunic is a little bit different. This is actually more woven together than what we have with Anakin. But looking inside there, I do see a second shoulder joint, so it can move forward and backwards a little bit more. But with his tunic being the way it is, I just don't know how well that's really going to work in comparison. As I move my mic, so hopefully it's a little bit better sound here. And then we only have a single elbow here. And of course, then we have the hand movement and all that. but you know, it's done nicely. It's done very well in that regard. It's just, you know, when we're used to more of the action figures instead of having all the robes and everything else. Remember, these are guys for peace, not really meant for war. So it just is what it is. And yeah, in some regards, the Jedi Order is kind of a group of monks, warrior monks, and they do that fairly well, but it just is what it is. And we have a couple different tubes here for like medication, well, not really medications, for like foodstuffs and all that stuff. If I remember looking those up online one time, I did see those on Amazon. You could buy them, and they're almost like oversized pens, and you could put like, I think they were supposed to have like little emergency food pellets or something like that to help sustain them, as well as having all the other various pockets that they have for the other things that they're going to need, as well as having a little clip on the side so we could actually put the lightsaber. Now this one has a kind of like a peg on the side of the lightsaber, so we could actually stick it into the belt, where other ones actually have a loop on there, and it actually has like a little hook on the side that can hold it, but usually doesn't hold it the greatest. Just kind of pointing that out, but this works out all right. Stands up pretty good. We'll get his lightsaber into his hand, hopefully. You know, the worst part is hopefully I'm not hitting the robe and having the robe in the way. Oh, come on, roll that in there. Okay, and then there we are. And yes, it does kind of sit. It does rub up a little bit on that robe, right there on the hem there. But it sits okay now. This is a little crooked because of how I took it out. Hopefully, it doesn't stay that way. It's never good when your saber is crooked. All right, and then we can have them stand up here, and then there we are. We have the three of them, and it looks pretty good. Nice addition to the collection. Like I said, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan are from the Revenge of the Sith, so this is about the same point where they would be dueling, and then Obi-Wan's tunic and all that would actually get all those kind of burns and all that into it. So this is obviously before that. And of course, then we have Padme from Attack of the Clones, and this is before she has the torn midriff or whatever, which I don't think that they'll probably ever make. Maybe they do, I don't know. Maybe they already have. Either way, it's perfectly fine the way it is. She's got that kind of cowl on there, and it works pretty good. She's got a good look to her. I think it does the character pretty good detail, and going from there. And with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. Hope you're doing well. I'll see you in the next video.